Oh, okay. Looks like I'm live. Although you should probably like squeeze it in a little bit more because the actual gameplay is you're cutting out some of the parts. But in the meantime, hey, I'm Nightbarrel. This is Kinetica. As you can see here, all the racers are actually vehicles of their own. You see all these different types of characters. So we're going to be playing as the best character in the game, Greg. Okay, we're going to fix it in game. All right, so I guess we'll just get started then. So this is all tracks. I'll explain it on the way. So we'll just get started right away. So 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so the all tracks category is basically we're going to do all the tracks, of course. We're going to do 3 seasons worth of tracks, and then the 3 bonus tracks, which you get for getting first in all 3 of the seasons. But here, some basics here on this game. You see me doing stunts. That's how you get boost. Well, that's one of the ways how you get boost in the game. And chaining together stunts will net you bonus boost. And you can do stunts on the ground and in the air. And these stunts look like really cool. And each character has their own unique stunts for them. Now, we're going to be collecting these yellow power-up crystals. Once you get like 5 of them or 1 red crystal, then you'll get a power-up. There are 6 power-ups in the game, and the one that you just saw was infinite boost, which is self-explanatory. You get infinite boost for a period of time. The one power-up that we want to get all the time is something called super boost, and what that is that it replaces your regular boost meter with a full super boost meter. And you can go beyond your max top speed for a brief period of time, and any kind of boost effect will give you that super boost. They give, like our current top boosted speed is like 315 miles an hour. Super boost brings it up to 350, so that's the same for all the characters. Everyone goes up to 350 on that. About the track, Macropolis, it's a pretty simple track. Although it still like has all these neat on-the-wall racing features, but nothing too spectacular. Not too many shortcuts to use, and what I'm doing right now is something called drift boosting or skid boosting. Actually, that's what it's actually called. And what you do is just basically you go into a drift by braking and then turning, and then you double tap the accelerator to get a boost. And there are going to be times where during certain straightaways I'm going to be doing something called snaking, and that's just doing continuous skid boosting without really turning all that much. So we can still keep up with our top speed without using any boost. And the AI in this game is actually not very forgiving. Like, okay, you need to focus a bit, try and get some boost up here. Because bumping into anything will reduce your speed significantly and pretty much coming you to a complete stop at times. Yeah. Alright, so coming up is Lost City. Lost City is the only track that doesn't have any boost strips, so it's incredibly difficult to keep up your top speed at times. So what I should be doing is just like skid boosting and just doing stunts early on in this first lap, because you could easily lose speed here in this track. And I got lucky there. I didn't run into anybody. during those turns in that tunnel. Grab this red crystal right there. Even though, yes, I know it looks purple, but the manual says it's red, so I'll trust the manual on this one. And there was the super boost, as you saw. You go really fast, and you want that at every given opportunity. And I don't know if I mentioned this before, but skid boosting, just using the regular skid boosting during corners, it's a good way to maintain your speed. Oh, messed that up there. Alright, we're gonna lose some time there. You always want to take this right one because it has the red crystal. And that in turn can be like, oh, just use faster stunts here. Faster stunts, you can do stunts at twice the speed, which we'll use here. Get a big combo out. Hopefully just stay at our top speed. This hasn't been too bad. That was a pretty good turn right there. That wasn't a good turn right there. I lost speed somehow. Sometimes you can't explain why you lose speed at times, but it happens, and you're just gonna have to suck it up and take it. Alright, there's an infinite boost. I actually gotten a bit lucky with the RNG here, so thankful for that. Lost City is usually a run killer for me, even though it's not that difficult of a track. But like I said, the absence of boost strips and the AI, both at the beginning and at the end of the race, will ruin that for you. A 227, that's not terrible. Disappointed by the lack of bike booty. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to look at some big man butt for this run. Alright, so Electrica. The Electrica tracks are like some of my favorite tracks in the game because we go from the absence of boost strips to a lot of boost strips, and it's very easy to keep up your top speed throughout the entire track. So we're gonna do some stunts here, go up to top speed, hopefully not run into anybody. I'm not at top speed. There we go. And then we're gonna reset right here. And for these big jumps, if you reset at the top of the jump, or at the top of the ramp, I should say, you can reset, and then you'll spawn at the other side of the jump. And this form of reset abuse we're going to be using quite a bit in this run. And this helps cut down on a good chunk of seconds throughout the entire race. Okay, so for these boost strips, you could do something that's called boost siphoning. And what you do is you hold down a certain button, and instead of getting the boost from the boost strip immediately, you'll actually soak in some of the boost from that boost strip so that you can save it for later. But what I usually do is something that's called siphon mashing. And what you do is just mash the siphon button, and you'll get the boost from the boost strip, and you get the siphon at the same time. So that's pretty much a win-win in that regard. So a couple super boosts in a row, that's pretty good. And that's a very good time to get the super boost because you'll get the boost strips as well, since the boost strips actually give you the super boost effect as well when that's active. And we'll reset here, boost back up to top speed, and we'll just continue snaking along the way. Pick up 3 pips before we go here, pick up our 4th pip, because if you're in the middle of getting a power-up, or you actually have a power-up, if you reset, you're actually going to lose that power-up. So it's best to prepare and know when exactly to reset so that you don't actually lose any pips at all. And here we'll overlap these people again. Season 1 is really the only season where we're actually going to overlap the AI. In the other seasons and the bonus tracks, we won't even get close to them. Okay, so Orbital Junction. I'm gonna do some boosting stunts right here. Focus on getting past everyone. They won't let me stunt. Like, if the AI touches you while you're stunting, then it'll cut off your combo immediately. So, and then shortcut, the Orbital Junction tracks are unique in that the shortcuts are actually, you turn onto the ceiling in order to access them. So that's pretty cool. Do some skid boosting right here. I think I'm going to activate faster stunts here just to get some more boost, because we're going to get another power up fairly soon. Alright. Here we go. What else to talk about? I guess I should talk about the other power-ups in this game while I'm here. So there's also Burst Attack, which is the only offensive item in the game. What it is basically a shockwave that's an EMP for Kinetica bikes. It just like stops everybody within a certain radius for like a few seconds, well, a couple seconds or so. And that's pretty terrible if we get caught up in it. Especially during the end of the race, because, you know, that's just, it's so much wasted time on that. But you could use it on the AI so that they'll stop and then you can just easily pass them. Or not, they'll just probably get in the way and just slow you down anyway. Let's see here, there's faster stunts, which I already explained. What are there? Okay, there's drafting. Drafting is almost self-explanatory. When you activate drafting, you'll see all these the circles that are behind these different riders. And if you draft, I missed the shortcut. That's a first. If you draft behind them, you actually get boost from that. Man, I almost don't know where to go. Okay, that's fine. We didn't lose too much time on that. So that's Season 1. And at the end of the season, if you complete it, then you'll get to see the rider's face for the trophy presentation. But we won't be seeing that. Not at all. We got some races to do. Alright, Season 2. We're going to start off with New Vega. It's actually the shortest track in this season. And we're just going to start off by doing stunts. Do a little boost. And here's a big shortcut right here. It takes some getting used to access that shortcut. It's like, when in doubt, just hug the right wall and you'll eventually get into it. And it's just a matter of getting past this guy. And then accessing this one so we can get some pips for our next power-up. And infinite boost is perfect, so we'll grab this red crystal. And this track actually introduces half-pipes, which are extremely difficult to maneuver in. It just like tosses you around and you end up running into walls more often than normal. We're gonna do some stunts right here. I usually don't reset at that jump because, you know, you'll end up having to boost anyway, and it's just faster to do the jump normally because you'll keep your speed and you get to access the shortcut quickly if you're at the right angle, if you angle it correctly, I should say. And another infinite boost, that's pretty good. For these half pipes, it's sometimes easier to just skid boost in them. That's an easy way to turn in them. Otherwise, you're just gonna have to adjust on the fly. skid boosting right there. Doing consecutive skid boosts, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You think you have gotten it, but the game just likes to drop inputs, and you wouldn't get the boost. Instead, you'll just break, and then just slow down a lot. Alright, faster stunts. I want to try and get this one right here. Alright, super boost to close it out. That's pretty good. Okay. That wasn't too terrible. But, yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm trying to remember what the 6 power-up was. Oh yeah, the 30% boost. Yeah, that's self-explanatory. Alright, Electrica 2. Electrica Boogaloo. This is actually the longest track in the game. And we're going to start off by doing a couple of resets. And hopefully we'll probably run into the AI relatively soon. If we're lucky, we'll never see them again, but I have a feeling we're about to get caught up here. Alright. But so far so good. Oh, no, wait, a couple people passed. Oh, there we go. I think I used up too much boosts, so we're not going to get to top speed. Okay, so we reset at that big jump. We won't reset here, because we need some boost from stunts. Alright, not the best start, but we're gonna work our way here. Grab a couple crystals, and then we'll reset there. I didn't realize I had low boosts, so usually 2 stunts with the combo boost. It's usually enough to get you back up to top speed. But a super boost right there is really helpful. And then we just like boost all the way over here. Double loop-de-loop with all this boost. And then you back out the starting line. Oh, nope. Okay, that should be fine. Oh, we didn't have to reset there. Okay, usually I reset there because if you're going too fast and you're running into walls that you'll just end up flying off the track anyway. So it's easier to just reset from there. Resetting... resetting doesn't cost that much time if you're just like doing it normally. Like if you just happen to like fall off the track and you reset, you know, it doesn't lose a lot of time, but still you lose time nonetheless. Faster stunts. I guess I'll activate this one. A little extra boost wouldn't help. Wouldn't hurt actually. It wouldn't hurt. Alright. And here you could just try and take these turns as inside as possible. You don't have to worry about most of these boost strips, because you can just skid boost and you'll still maintain top speed. Just collect these crystals along the way. How come I chose to speedrun Kinetica? Kinetica is one of my favorite racing games of all time. I used to play the crap out of the demo as a kid. I never really got the game until like I was in college. But once I did, it's a fairly difficult game. Like it's kind of hard to control most of the time. But once you get used to it, oh, I messed up there. Once you get used to it, it's pretty fun. Why I mispositioned right there. Alright, I'm gonna have to focus a bit. But yeah, when I began speedrunning, like in 2016, I believe, I started with the Jet Moto, which is another racing game, which I've done for this marathon actually. And then I just eventually got this game on the PS4 when it came out. And so the PS4 version, the loading times are extremely quick compared to the PS2 versions. So, although, even though we don't use RTA for record keeping, we just use the combined in-game times for each of the races to determine total times. But yeah, TLDR, it's fun, and I like it. Alright, coming up here. And a 446, that's it's not terrible, but it could have been better. I usually get like a 440 nowadays. 5 minutes doesn't seem all that bad back in the day. But anyway, on to Cliffhanger. And Cliffhanger is much more of an endurance race rather than one with like too many turns and all that. Because it features a good amount of hills on these quote-unquote straightaways that you have to constantly like stunt and boost just to keep up with your top speed. But with the discovery of being able to snake on these straightaways, it becomes a lot more easy. And a big shortcut right here, which is pretty good. That was a pretty good shortcut jump. That saves about like 5 seconds a lap if you decide to go to the bottom route. Much more time saved if you normally go through the top route. And this is the straightaway that I'm talking about here. It's just all these hilly areas that you could just drift boost on. Alright, so trying to get up this ramp right here. You have to lift up on the bike in order to get to this area of the track. Otherwise, you'll just bump into the wall and then you'll just land on the other side of it, which is not ideal. But you can still come back from that. Alright, got the brake right here. Otherwise, we're just going to run into the cliff walls, and that will not only slow you down, but it'll actually have you lose control of your bike and not get to the other shortcut ramp. And that will waste a lot of time. Alright, so we're going to go down here again. Not going to get that crystal, just in case if we reset right here, which we will. So now we still have our 4 pips. 30% boost is not bad. It's better than half of the power-ups here. Yeah, we're just going to continue skid boosting here. I guess I should talk about the characters in here. Greg here, he has the best acceleration and top speed. Not good with controls, but in this game, it's actually not that bad. Because you can turn very easily in this game. Like, even with Greg, like I could still make some of the turns, like, more easily than I would with other characters. Because, especially the female characters who have, like, some of the best control in the game. If you're at a very high speed, they'll skid out of control if they even think about turning. So, I think having someone with low control is, is a good choice in the meantime. So if you're starting out with the game, Greg is initially locked, but Razzo is a good starting character if you want to get into the game. He has pretty decent controls. He won't skid as easily, and he has a good amount of speed anyway. So yeah, that's who I started with when I started speedrunning this. And that's who I used in the marathon, in my last marathon that I ran here at ARAT. But now strats have changed, and Greg is tier 0 in this, with Razzo at an easy tier 1. Alright, super boost to close this out. I've actually managed to lap the AI once, and it was pretty neat. Like, you would come close at times if you have good RNG and are good enough to, well, we'll just stop right there. Alright, Gabriel's Horn, the last track of Season 2. Actually a very beautiful looking track. And it actually features quite a bit of alternate routes, but we're actually going to be taking this main route throughout the, well, pretty much the entire race. It's actually faster that way, because you have to go through quite a bit of hoops just to access the alternate routes. So we're just gonna try and get as much boost as we can for this big reset right here. Big ramp, reset, we're on the other side. Saves a good chunk of time. And we're gonna get this red crystal right here, beautiful. That was perfect. These big turns, which will skid boost into this right here. Alright, normally I would run into the walls at the second turn, just to keep myself centered. But, yeah, that was pretty good, actually. And then we just do more skid boosts here. And we use snaking just to grab those crystals, make it more easier. Alright, faster stunts. That's not ideal here. And we want to avoid these ramps that are popping up here. It's like, it just gives you air. And, you know, going through the little dips, especially when you're at your top speed, is much quicker. So, another reset right there. Like, even if the ramp is, like, all the way down, it's still much faster to reset there. Alright, super boost. It's always nice. Like, there are very, very few instances where super boost can actually not help as much as it should. But it is still nice to get nonetheless. Oh, missed that crystal. You know, when you actually see these tracks in replay mode, they are really beautiful and very well designed. Like, you wouldn't probably see it because you're always, like, it always seems like whatever you're on is the ground pretty much. But these tracks are very beautiful. Alright. Another reset right there. Missed that red crystal, but that's okay. Getting that red crystal is pretty tricky because the walls that you see, well, the yellow walls that you saw, it can actually toss you out of control and just throw you in a direction that you wouldn't expect it to. Like, collisions can really hurt you. Know, not only do they slow you down, but also they'll just put you in an uncontrollable skid, and you'll have to boost to stabilize. Really, that's why I usually boost after a jump. It's just to stabilize, because if I turn, then I'll just skid out of control, and I have to boost anyway. So, anyway, going into Season 3, we're at Neocropolis. Another kind of run killer, because, again, just like with Lost City, there are a lot of things that can really slow you down, including the AI. The AI always slows you down, so that's always a constant. But it's these places where, these congested places that you have to squeeze by them in, which makes it more difficult. And actually, I'm getting pretty good luck here. Just need to make this shortcut right here. And we're good. First attack just in case. We're getting this red crystal. And the faster stunts is pretty good. We'll save it for the big jump right here. Oh, I didn't mean to reset. No! Okay, this is bad. My brain farted for a second there. It's pretty sad because the reset button is actually the left side of the touchpad, where the select button normally is. So I screwed that up. Here we just skid boost pretty quickly. I'm just gonna do a stunt right here. Get as much boost as I can. That was a pretty good section right there. If that part right there, you can easily lose control there because it like moves you around so much that you could easily miss that very narrow shortcut and miss out on all that boost. And you have to actually go around that shortcut, which takes up even more time. So here, we're gonna hold back, get a little bit of air, and try and sneak in here. It wasn't very good, but, you know, I'll take it. If you can manage to sneak in between sneak in that window, then you won't lose any speed at all, and you'll just continue on to the other ramp. Here, we'll try this section again. This is pretty good. I'm actually doing pretty well. Better than most times on here. Alright, there we go. That's better than most. You want to try and land on that little curve so that you won't lose much speed on that. And here, I don't reset here because resetting will actually put you... There we go. Will actually put you at the bottom of the dip. So you'll have to boost back up to the other side of the jump anyway. Alright, I should just boost right here. 310, could be better. Alright, Metroscape. Metroscape features extreme twists and turns and features a good number of hairpin turns, especially during the end of the lap. Here, we'll take this not so obvious shortcut. Get some boost here. Unlucky with the power up. Oh man, I messed up that turn right there. Alright, so that wasn't pretty good. Hopefully enough boost. Hopefully we won't lose our momentum during this part. There we go. And we got infinite boost, so that will help out. That's a hairpin turn right there. Alright, so here, these hairpin turns, we're just gonna skid boost. Hopefully we won't drop any inputs along the way. If you can maintain your top speed during this section, then you're golden. And here, we're just gonna do some stunts here to bring our boost meter up. Okay, hopefully we'll do this correctly. That wasn't bad. Man, I don't know what else to talk about here. It's kind of deceiving on that turn because it seems like it looks like a normal turn, but it's actually much tighter than you would think it is. And I just lost a bunch of speed there. Okay. Alright, that wasn't... It could have been worse. Could have been worse. And got infinite boost. I'm gonna bring my boost meter up a bit before I start to use it. Missed the red crystal just barely. Alright, that was pretty good. And we always want to take this right side right here. The left side is basically a longer right path, except it has a red crystal at the end, which is not even close to worth it. You just lose a bunch of time just going through that route. Alright, super boost, perfect. Just gonna... Normally for super boost you just want to tap on it, so you're not using as much super boost meter, while still keeping up with the top super boosting speed. And for here we're just gonna boost straight through. And 253. Alright, that's okay.
Infinite boost.
Alright, up next is Emerald Eve, another beautiful looking track. And with all this green and stuff. About like a half to like 2/3 of the track is composed of half pipes. That's the challenge of this track. And I'm gonna concentrate a bit just to get past this AI, which is giving me trouble already. Because there's this big shortcut that I need to hit. Hopefully the AI is nice to me. There we go. Alright. So we're gonna siphon some boost here. We have to actually do a full siphon so that we can slow down enough to get this red crystal, which thankfully gives us super boost, but AI is not being as nice. But we managed to get that through pretty well. Alright, I'm happy with that. And if we do get a boost power up from that, we can just simply straight up boost, if not snake throughout that section. Section right here. If you can skid boost effectively there, you'll get through that with a good amount of boost as well. And we're going to try and center ourselves here for this next red crystal, although we already have a power up waiting. And we want to try and hit this one. No. There's also a red crystal right there that you can only get if you hit the second to last ramp on that section. So a lot of opportunities to get power-ups in this course. And I'm going to try and center here. Okay, there we go. There we go. 30% boost, that's not bad. Alright, for this part, you're going to have to skid boost. Although you have to do it quickly, otherwise you're going to run into the walls, and then you'll lose a good amount of momentum. Okay, position myself up here for this turn. It's like you want to get as close as possible so that when you do skid boosts... man, I messed that up entirely. Alright, breaking... Nope, never mind. The hitboxes for these crystals are pretty lenient, too. Like, when you think you haven't grabbed a crystal, it grabs it for you anyway. So it's pretty nice in regards to that. Ooh, hopefully this will work. Okay, that should be good. Yeah, getting this shortcut is pretty detrimental to getting a good time on this course. Like, you get so much boost, and you lose time just from going through that shortcut in the first place. Why am I losing speed? Come on. There we go. And we're just going to do some snaking here. Oh, I missed it. Okay. Well, we're just gonna have to come over this way then. Get this red crystal right there. And alright, cool. Super boost to close it out. A sub 4 minute is pretty good. I'll take it. Alright, Electrica X. This is actually my favorite track in the game. And you'll see why. Oh man, near the end of this track. Oh man. Okay, so it won't give me the big shortcut, so I'm going to already be so far behind. I thought it would respawn me on the other side of that shortcut, but apparently not, so... Alright, so... this is awkward. Alright, I'm gonna have to concentrate because now I'm gonna be facing everybody here. Super boost is perfect because I have to... Oh my goodness. Alright, alright. Is that how it's gonna be? See, I'm going like top speed, but Sarah, who doesn't have that good of a speed, is like right beside me. Okay, so what I did right there is that I skid boosted right onto the ramp into the tunnel. And, well, I'll explain it on the second lap. Finally got this shortcut right here, which is what's supposed to happen. And then lift up to get this red crystal. Super boost is bailing me out super big time here. And then we're gonna have to go to this right side just to avoid that thing right there. And then we could just basically boost the entire way in this tunnel up until the next jump, or at least until these next speed pads at least. Alright, so this one right here, we're gonna have to lift up on the bike just so we don't bonk our heads on the tunnel. And there we go. That was a pretty good lap too. So, and that isn't. I missed the ramp. I positioned myself too far to the left. Wow, this has been a terrible Electrica X. So, at least you'll get to see more of the track of how it's supposed to be ran, or how it normally is. And I got pushed up by the pistons. Alright. Marathon firsts, everybody. Alright, and I should mention this shortcut that's coming up here, accessed by that ramp. It's not worth it to go that way for the shortcut with all that boost up there. You have to go through so many hoops just to get on that. And no, it's just simply not worth it. I'll just say it right there. So yeah, we lost like 10 seconds from that. Oh my god. Okay, so now we're gonna head into the bonus tracks. We're gonna start with Season 1's bonus track, Suicide Slide. Suicide Slide is the shortest track in the game, and it features all of these alternate paths that you can take, but we're just gonna be going through the main one right here. It's faster, good opportunity to boost and to snake. And you know, you're not gonna be wasting time just trying to access these alternate areas. Oh my goodness, Thorn is busting me up here. Okay, so I wanted to avoid getting that crystal because I want to get a power up on the main straightaways, just in case if I get super boost. And I was supposed to drop down. Okay. But yeah, trying to grab as many of these crystals as possible. Missed that one. Alright, it's okay if I grab this one. We'll get some use out of it, but it's another burst attack. So that's unlucky. Alright, so I guess I'll grab this crystal right there. And sometimes that little jump right there, you can grab onto the edge of that ramp, and it'll just like make you come to a complete stop and just have you need to like boost up back to top speed, which is terrible. Alright, there we go. Infinite boost. Alright, so we can just simply snake the rest of the way. It should be enough boost. Yeah, see, that's exactly what I meant by that. It's terrible every time that happens. So a 2 of 3. Could have been a lot better. This is the PS4 version. Oh, I didn't mean to press again, race again. We have to quit out. The PS4 version is much more beautiful than the PS2 one, obviously because of the updated well, I wouldn't say updated graphics, but more sharpness to it. Alright, so Lost City 2. Casually, this is the hardest track in the game. Just to even try and get first place is incredibly difficult, because this is actually a pretty easy track, but it's also very linear. There's not many alternate paths you can take other than the one at the start of the lap. Oh my goodness, he spawned right in me. But also, these tracks are like super narrow compared to the other tracks. Like, you're going to be running into people often. Alright, got lucky there. I need to pick up some crystals, which I didn't. So I got 0 throughout lap 1. But I guarantee you, once you separate yourself from the rest of the pack, then this becomes much easier. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Okay, now it's time. We're alone. Time to do what we do best. Get our car up. 30% boost is okay, considering how much speed you can lose during these sections. We're just going to grab this one right here. And you can just skid boost right here. You can do regular stunts as well during these tunnel straightaways. But if you think you have enough boost, then just snake all across the section. Ooh, super boost is pretty good, although not ideal on this part, but we'll still get a taste of it in this part. Alright, we won't get enough crystals for this part, so we're just going to take those speed pads. And just like that, it's that easy to get first place in Lost City 2. Just gotta beat Greg. Or Razzo. Razzo is capable of doing that as well. Alright, we're gonna quit out. And just like that, we're already on our final track of the game. Orbital Junction 2. Alright, so just like orbital junctions, we can access some alternate paths by rotating onto the ceiling. And just gonna skid boost on this section, do a stunt if we can. And hopefully... yeah, okay, good. We'll take this ramp right here. Hopefully we'll make this one. Nope. Alright. do some stunts to build up boost in. I'm gonna take this part right here, avoid these ramps, because we have this red crystal coming up ahead that can only be accessed by going through all that. First attack, just in case. Whew, almost messed that up. And this is where skid boosting really comes in handy. Like, these aren't exactly ideal places to stunt. So, in order to keep up with our top speed, we have to, like, skid boost efficiently. Alright, do that. Skid boost here. Just like that. Alright, so we're gonna go off here. Oh, that's too far. We just want to be on the bottom here just so that we can boost all the way through that section. Alright, let's see what we can get here. There we go, that's more like it. Oh, alright, we got it. Alright. We always want to take the right side over here, especially if you're good at turning. And we're on our final lap here. So time is going to be after this last lap. And afterwards, I would like to show off like a 1-minute movie. We're going to take these ramps. Just so we can get this right here. But yeah, there's a special movie that you unlock after you get first place on this track, which not only unlocks Crank, but actually has a movie voiced by him. So, if I'm pretty sure we're going to be well below estimate that I can at least show that off. Just gonna skid boost the entire way through. Hopefully I won't mess this up as I've done several times in the past. And that's time. Alright, so that is Kinetica. A pretty fun game as long as you know what to do. I think I'm well below estimate, so I'm gonna go ahead and show off this video real quick. Where are movies? There you are. And it's the history of Kinetica. So I'm going to shut up for a bit and enjoy.
People don't come to the races anymore. They haven't come for over 100 years. Not since we developed the suits. Kinetica was the first and the best in pay-per-ride, but ultimately it was where we lost control. For a few hundred credits, people could plug themselves into the onboard monitoring sensors that checked the rider's physical and emotional reactions during a race. It was an instant sensation. Who needs an onboard camera when you can actually be on board yourself? When you can taste the sweat dripping into a racer's eyes? Problem was, the racers needed to be even better than they'd been before. The machines got faster and the turns got tighter. The only thing creeping up quicker than the design changes and the high speeds were the fatalities. And that suited the public just fine. Sure, we may be the best of the best. We may be modern-day superstars. But you ask me, we're just a bunch of cannon fodder dressed in kinetic hardware that's cleverer than we are. Now that the season's over and you're the champ, what are you gonna do? No more 10G rolls off a blind corner. Not until next season. Assuming you come back. Assuming you want to stay on top. But you can't fool old Crank. You'll be back. Your kind always comes back.
Alright, so thanks again. I hope you're enjoying the marathon so far. Up next we got Cruisin', followed by our finale of Sonic R. So stick around, it's going to be fun.